Yeah, but it's in a waiting screen.
Okay. So there's going to be two assets coming in hot for something that we plan to leak whenever Muka gets them framed. I'll post them here so you guys can put them up on screen when it's time.
Okay.
Because we're going to leak two deception cards that are coming out for. Again, no one can hear me, right? I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, no one.
Imagine they could the entire time.
It'd be great. They'd be like, "You're talking about Brandon Sanderson, and then you ruin the leaks. What is your problem?"
Yeah, no one can hear you right now.
We're gonna leak both of the deception cards that are coming out in the box. We're gonna bring two cards in the box this time.
Oh, nice.
The shoes were fun last time, so I can't wait to see what we got this time.
Dude, they're staples. We decided that instead of fauceting cool cards, we should faucet cards that everyone should have. And so I want to faucet cards that even if you don't spend money on deception, you get access to because I think that it's going to change the format substantially.
I have a guess that you don't answer it, but I'm guessing the 4-mana AoE.
100%.
Got it.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Great.
Okay.
The tiny banana I got. How cool is that?
Whoa, I see those.
Yeah.
I see little mini bananas sometimes. I've never bought one though.
Yeah, there's this crazy grocery store here. Oh, it's like disintegrated. That's not great. There's crazy grocery store here called Jungle Gyms. It's legit like ridiculously large, and they have shit from every corner of the world. There's like there's a small grocery store size section for everywhere in the world.
That sounds
So they've
insane
got,
because the food would go bad and stuff. That's crazy.
well, but it's like a regionally or like national attraction. Like people just go there and just buy the shit out of stuff. So I got some little tiny bananas.
Where is home, Fish? Do I know this? Should I know this?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. I know this now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jungle Gyms is the shit. If you guys ever come out here, we'll go.
Sounds like my kind of place.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal.
There's a place like that in Philly, but instead of groceries, it's just food vendors. It's called Reading Street or it's Reading Terminal Market or something. It's like 100. It's my favorite place. It's the first place I meet anybody when they come to Philly. I'm like, yo, meet me at the terminal. I love that place.
I think I've been there.
If you've been to the huge, it's like next to it's like there's like a subway station right next to it. It's like right downtown. It's so good.
Yeah, for sure been there. One of my best friends lives in Philly or Villanova, so.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm starting to get out now. The pandemic, I moved here, so I wasn't really doing much, but now I'm starting to make up for lost time. Wow. Oh, this is cool. This is so cool.
Pretty badass, right?
I really like that. Yeah. I really like that. Okay. Quinto, what do we need us to?
No, we're in a waiting. It's 1 minute and a half already until we're live.
Okay, cool.
And then we'll do an avatar giveaway as well.
Oh, baby. Kenton's arm. I could never.
Well, GM, we're here today in this nice stream with Fitch, Vin, and Flux. We're gonna be talking about the future of Parallel. The team recently released a blog post talking about all of the things that they have been cooking, the improvements that they have been doing to the game, and what comes next also. So yeah, welcome Bean. Fitch is there by the kitchen, but we're good.
I just had to get some water, guys. Sorry about that.
I'm just enjoying watching your dog get excited, but he's gonna.
Oh yeah, he's always excited. You know, in his world, there's a lot to be excited about. So
yeah,
must be nice. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that. That's a foreign world for me. No, just kidding. There's a lot to be excited about. So looking forward to today. Should be sick.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we prepared some questions for you guys, and we want to start shooting away since this is a big topic. You guys were excited to do this stream and to share with the community about everything that you guys have been doing. So now that the clients and servers are fully in-house, what new creative freedoms or pressures has that shift unlocked for you, for the team?
Not even warming them up, just sending them, hitting them with the hard ball.
That's an excellent
That's a good one. That's a really good question.
It's a great question to start with. And it's not like we weren't prepared for it. Like, that's exactly what Nicole addressed in most of the blog. A lot, like, the blog does comment on the future toward the bottom of it, but most of it is talking about where we were and where we are. And the question of, like, what freedoms does that enable us? Like, there was actually someone who asked me a question on Twitter. I think it was Kay. Yeah, it was Agent Kay's question about how empowered do you feel? Like, do you have the ability to act? Are people micromanaging you from above, or do you not have the resources, or is this, bad code or whatever? It's like, no, like, we finally are in a place where we have a ton of freedom. We have the ability to execute on, like, we're talking about new game modes. We're talking about making drastic changes to the playfield. We're talking about changing how the cadence of sets work. We're talking about getting lore back into the game. Like, all of this comes because we have first-party control and team-based control of where we're going. And it feels good to say that. Now, a lot of those things that I mentioned are not in the next 3 months. Like, that's something where what we want is to really hammer down and talk about the next 3 months as we're razor focused on two things, and I think that Nicole's buckets here make the most sense. It's game experience and game stability. And right now, those things they've always been a priority, but they were always a priority with something else. There was always, and then there's mobile. And then there's translating stuff in-house. And then there's the battle pass shift. And so what we've done is we've set ourselves up to have all of those other things be put on pause until we get game stability and game experience down pat and get them where we want them to be. And that's what we're doing with the roadmap that she shared and the Go Fast patch.
Yeah, let me speak to one thing there. So I feel like part of the assumption of Kay's question was that perhaps we're being squashed from above, right? And then there's simultaneously kind of an ironic answer in another question that he gave of, like, Kalis doesn't tweet much about the TCG lately. So actually, you have to think about what his role is to do, right? His role is to keep us relevant. His role is to push us towards the future. Parallel is a future studio. It's a technology studio, a future technology studio, if you will. So really, that's what we always have to be doing, is pushing towards the future and finding ways to get ourselves involved in the future. And thus, that, like, he's a singularly driven individual who's going to find ways to keep us all relevant and keep us capitalizing on new opportunities and playing in the newest spaces. And so his focus shifts aggressively. Like, it takes a unique type of person to do what he does and see the future and capitalize on it. But you have to devote, like, an obsessive level of focus. But actually, what that means to the prior question is we do have more freedom. So just to, like, directly answer that, the staff is bigger than ever on the TCG. The freedom is greater than ever. And we have, I think, better than ever piloting the direction that we go in terms of Bean and Muka and the Bees, CL, Nicole, right? People that have been there, people that are newer to the scene, and obviously we're always taking feedback on that stuff. But yeah, I actually think that it's ironic that those two questions are asked together, because one kind of answers the other. Is that, yeah, he's letting us cook on the TCG. It's just the fact of the matter is, as the blog kind of got to, there's a lot of technical debt and unpacking of the way that the game was initially built that had to be done. It's not an excuse, it's just a fact, right? It's something that we've had to deal with. I don't think that we were as clear in the past as we needed to be about that, such that we kind of maybe didn't properly set expectations. Maybe we also didn't know, depending on who you were in the team and how much you were or were not involved in the product, to be able to understand exactly how much technical debt there was or wasn't. But the fact of the matter is, we do have team in-house now. The team is bigger than ever. I think we have better pilots than ever steering the ship. And we've already unpacked most of that technical debt. There's still some more, obviously, putting the whole thing into the form factor of mobile. I think being unit test kind of revealed maybe more technical debt than maybe we anticipated.
It was not only revealing more technical debt, but it revealed just how much we had to refactor in addition to the tech debt to make it work on something that was scalable, different processing power, cross devices, things like that. Like it really did put into stark contrast what we needed to work on. And mobile, like it was a crucible and it was a lot to work on, but we got there and we're in a much, much better place because of it. And I mean, to speak to the tech debt, like anecdotally, my favorite story about this, for good or for ill, is when we were handed the product to spec, by the way, like the product was delivered to spec, and it was, you know, there are the alpha cards in here, and we said, okay, cool. When we try to add cards, it doesn't work, and they say, what do you mean add cards? We put all the cards in there, and it can't be expanded. Like they built it to be what it was, and like that's exactly what we asked them for. Like it's a monkey paw's wish, right? We didn't tell them it was going to be an expandable card game, but like when you think about it, that's something that must happen in a TCG. So to unpack something as fundamental as that showcases just how much and what type of work we had to do to get Parallel into the state that it is today. And granted, what it is today is good, but it's not world class yet. It's not where we want it to be. And looking at it, you might think like, oh, there's so much more to go. But like where we were to where we are, there's not that much left to go. Like we are at the finish line. It feels really good to be here. That's why we're able to showcase some of this stuff in the blog instead of just say, you know, it's coming, let us cook. It's coming, let us cook. Like, no, we can show videos of this. Like, why is it not public yet? Because it hasn't been completely tested. And it's not out in, like, this is just how software works. But we know that the work is done. Most of the development is done. We just have to wait for the rest of the process to cook and get it out in a stable way. Like, we don't want to break what exists to give you what's new, etc. Anyway, just
people don't realize people don't realize this, and I can confirm because I have a direct comparison here. I was in Gods Unchained for a long time. Now I've been in Parallel for a long time. There was a similar conversation that happened in these two games, but they've been handled differently. In Gods Unchained, there was a lot of technical debt that needed to be solved for the game to be able to move on to new things. After a year of that conversation happening, it was about the same place, right? So like from 2023, 2024, the conversation of technical debt for Gods Unchained, you guys don't have to comment, I'm the one saying it, but like for them, there was no progress, communication was bad, and there was no sense of optimism around it. In contrast with Parallel, every 3 months is a different conversation, a different step of the process. And while it's easy to be like, okay, like, because the criticism that's thrown around sometimes, for example, in the Econ channel, shout outs Econ, I'm listening, we're listening.
No.
But this is one thing which I think is a fair thing, which I think is wrong but understandable, which is, are these guys really good at announcing and starting things, but they're never going to be able to finish? Like, that's a general, like, is Talos great at selling the idea, getting it started, and then he's off to the next thing and the product isn't good enough? Like, this is a negative view, right? But what I can say is I've seen games that are actually doing that. I have literally 7,000 to 8,000 hours of stream time on games. About 5,000 of that is Web3 games. I'm talking from experience, more than a lot of people listening in the game. Some of y'all have as many hours as me. Point is, like, Parallel is so clearly progressing. Like, look at the game 6 months ago to today. Look at the team 6 months ago today. Look at all the things that you can see. You don't really have to have faith. It's actually visible. Because I've seen the alternative. This is much more like when Axie Classic hit rock bottom and now Ronin is crushing. It's a lot less like a Gods Unchained or a million other games that have stagnated and died. I just think Parallel is in the natural part of the Web3 gaming cycle, which is initial hype then there's a dip, and then the games that survive that dip become the strongest projects. That I've never seen a game not have that dip, and I think Parallel is starting to come out of that dip. That's my interpretation of basically everything.
I think that the dip happened when we were strapped on resources, strapped on trying to get projects done, and we were also changing process to catch up. Like a lot of early Parallel was landing forward passes that we made to ourselves, right? Like the pre-sale of packs happened before the game existed, and we needed to make sure that like as the expansions came out, the cards actually became real and it wasn't vaporware and it existed. And now we're at a point where we're working ahead. Like Deception is way further along than any of the sets previous to it were, and we already have Haven mostly in the can. We're really doing a lot to get ahead of it, and hopefully the dip, once we come out of it, we've shown that we're not soft locking anymore. We solved we have MMR in house. We have the playfield changes coming up, and we delivered the shotgun patch. We're hoping that once we get 6.6 and 6.7 and the Go Fast patch out, we then have a lot of goodwill from the community that we can say, like, we are making promises, and we understand that there's been a lot of hollow promises and vague timelines, but what we're doing now is solidifying the promises that we have and showing those timelines and saying and putting our code where our mouth is and saying, like, we are actually going to deliver on these quality of life improvements at the cost of working on other new features. Because like there are things that we want that we would love to distract ourselves with, but the core of make the gameplay better needs to be focused on. And at Worlds, we all talked about it, and that was the priority, that as soon as we got mobile to a shippable state, everything else would be focused on game experience, game stability, and we're at that point now. So it's very excited, or it's very exciting.
Getting goosebumps.
I have a question regarding something that Fitch said. So, Fitch, you mentioned that the team has been growing, so there's more people working on the TCG right now than it was before. Is that correct?
Yeah, largest team. It's the largest the team has ever been.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Because
I think people think it's like just piggybacking off of the point that Quinto made is like, okay, so I mean, I have to be sympathetic to this because you guys don't see things from the same eyes that I see things or Bean sees things, right? Like we have a fundamentally different view of what's happening here and what's not happening here. If you look at Twitter, and that's your primary channel for information, what you're going to see is Kalos tweeting about the flavor of the day. And you're going to also see, because for one, we haven't appropriately communicated the tech debt that we were dealing with, or two, we have these aggressive ideas to push, and get things out, and then they're not ready, but you don't understand that there's some strategy behind that. And anyway, all of these things, right, you see that the TCG just has not caught up yet to where we all would like it to be. And you would make the assumption that, oh, they've probably got a threadbare team, and probably they're rugging the TCG, and probably they're putting all the resources towards Colony, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That would not be true, right?
Right.
So, in fact, the TCG is sort of being left to the people who are the best suited to steer the direction of the TCG. Those people have bolstered the resources in terms of team assigned to things, and that's across a lot of different bases. And they're focusing on the unfortunate but necessary work that needs to be done to prevent this from being a much bigger problem in the future, which is, okay, let's get this to the point where we can just own it in-house and have it be flexible and have it be scalable for the future. And there's a lot that goes into that. Also, partially, I guess we're responsible on the growth side for pushing like really aggressive timelines around mobile. We certainly were pushing very, very hard on that, and harder than I think the team was capable of delivering in a realistic way. But that's just what it is. I mean,
but it wasn't unrealistic insofar it was just overly optimistic. Like
overly optimistic, sure.
There was a world in which we hit that. It's just we didn't hit that, but we didn't communicate the risks involved with the timelines. So like,
I think again, we didn't understand when you go to try and put the existing set of tools and package, that in a mobile form, it's going to reveal more weaknesses, right? Like that's the point that I was trying to make earlier. So that's good though. It's not a bad thing. If you've asked me ever about the TCG, what have I always said? It's a slow cook, right? If we didn't have the tech debt, this would still be a fucking long time to make this thing come to fruition. It just would. You know, it's a type of game that's got strong incumbents. The category is just robust, and you have to appeal to a group of people who kind of baseline don't like you, right? So there's a lot of difficulties. You know, the fact that we have a core game, the game in and of itself is great, is really fun. That is a strong asset, but it will not win us the war, right? It will not. And so we all know that. Everyone knows that. We are not ignorant of that. Yes, we look at other games for inspiration. Yes, we're trying to make all those peripherals, I shouldn't even call them peripherals, all the other elements as good as possible to be relevant to a broader audience. And we're not there yet. Again, if we didn't have some of these struggles, it still would have taken a long time. I'm right now genuinely impressed with the pace that the team is overcoming these things. I'm excited for the next few months. And I know that once we overcome the next few months, then we're actually able to crack this can open and start to build like net new exciting features like, okay, you want draft, et cetera, right? So it was always going to take a while. Thankfully, we learned lessons from this that port over to how we're, you know, approaching Colony, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I wanted to speak to that. I think it's natural to have tension. It's natural for there to be, you know, ebbs and flows, right? To you know, your point. So that's, you know, don't stress.
So, I mean, talking about that, takes me to my second question regarding all of this. So, looking back at the migration period from Q2 to Q4 2024, what was the single biggest aha moment that convinced you the studio could truly own and scale parallel long term?
Sorry, I was reading chat. What was the phrasing of that again?
During that time, what was the aha moment when you realized that you could scale and do this internally? I think so there were two separate aha moments, both of which were moments that came from how quickly we were able to deliver something that we shouldn't have been able to deliver that quickly. The first was when we noticed, patched, and delivered a fix between the top 16 and top 8 of a tournament to fix a bug. It was the first time that it was fantastic. And we've never, ever been able to do that because before it was an email across time zones. And then a day later we would get a response and then we would have to explain the problem and then they would have to verify it. And then it's just, there's so much communication hassle as opposed to, oh man, let's get this fixed and push it immediately. That was some heroics on the team's part that got that out. But like, as soon as that happened, it was like, oh, like, we're not a AAA studio yet, but like we're a real studio. Like this is something that takes a lot of a organization and engineering prowess and technical know-how to execute on quickly enough and safely enough that we didn't break anything else in the process. And I think the second moment was when we were discussing all the changes that we wanted for the shotgun patch. And granted, the design team did look at them through the lens of how can we least impact the engineers to get this done. But when we were told that we could have all of those changes done in a time frame that was like less than a full sprint, it was wild to me. It was like, oh, we have really competent people and really good tools. And if this is how things are going to go for the future, we can make massive changes like the shotgun patch and not disrupt the dev schedule and still be able to deliver on our major client and server updates. Like, this is real. We actually can do this.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, shotgun patch was a big one because like it's so many cards, it's such a highly anticipated thing. And I forget exactly how you said it, but you said something like it's the first step of the inflection point of us kind of getting to this new, what I would call the new all-time high of vibes. My framing is that post Aftermath around like March, April, May was some kind of all-time low for vibes. And it never reached a critical point. I don't think you'd have to be pretty crazy to think the project was ever at risk. Obviously, things are fine, but it was like an all-time low of vibes. And I think my thesis is that we are heading towards new all-time highs, probably with the launch of Deception and stuff. And the shotgun patch being the first clear, visible, publicly visible thing of that outside of like team announcements and stuff.
Yeah, and I think you're. So whatever I said, I stand by. I think the inflection point is now. I think that we're waiting for the acceleration to kick in. Like it's the third level derivative, right? But I think that Fitch's schedule of what we've got coming out that lines up with.
You said calculus on me? Oh my god!
I did say some calculus. I did
Crazy.
calculus on you.
Crazy. I'm leaving.
Level derivative.
But no, what
all of a sudden I'm busy.
what I'm thinking of when I look at the schedule that Fitch has that we're operating off of, and I look at the priorities that Nicole has set for the engineering team and her team, I'm really excited for the release of Deception. I think that we are set up to execute on this drop as a team better than we've been set up to deliver on any set previously. I'm not going to say that the cards are going to come out totally bug free. I'm not going to say that we're not going to have something break the game or something like that. Like, oh, I cross my fingers. I hope not. But just our ability to have things be ready in a reasonable time frame, and our ability to have the assets be ready, have all of the VFX in, have the cards be mostly tested. Like we are firing on all cylinders. We're organized, we're ready to go, and like I'm excited for that calendar to become more and more public as time goes on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're starting reveals like next week of cards, or theoretically sooner than that, maybe.
Maybe.
Perhaps hypothetically, but yeah, to Vian's point, like I think we'll execute on this one much better than before, and definitely it feels like. I mean, we talked about it today. I'm not gonna, I'll just say what came up on a leads call earlier of like, what's our timing for when we want to sort of fire things back up again with the TCG, and it was like, okay, well, August kind of feels appropriate, assuming that we meet these, next few patches that we have, and Deception will be coming out around that time, and it's a great swing point of momentum. I mean, to your point earlier, Q, it's like you're right that we never were really sort of categorically at risk as a company or as a brand, but like the way I like to think of it is we're always at risk, right? Like, I mean, this industry is fraught with danger, and I think people, understandably, it's a combination of things. Like we spoke earlier to the point of comms maybe not being like really done correctly around just the amount of unpacking of technical debt. And then, I mean, a lot of these things were in real time, and then sort of going into refactoring mobile and just like how much that was like, oh shit, there's more to do than we thought there was. But if you combine that with like, you're looking at Kalos's tweets as your sole source of information, and then also like alts have shit the bed, Web3 gaming is shitting itself. Everything is just like, it looks like it's on fire. You're like, oh my God, I have so much love and passion for Parallel. Like, is the ship sinking? I totally get it, dude. I get it. This industry is a nightmare. Okay, there's a bunch of bullshit. You're always gonna have something's on fire, but at the same time, there's incredible promise. I truly don't think anyone's operating at the level that we're at as a studio. There's a handful of others. Look at how we've remained relevant over 4 years, and recall that, hey, there's actual improvements happening in the TCG despite sort of a backlog of things that we've had to do. Now, again, not saying that it's not our fault. We'll take the blame for there being the backlog in the first place of technical debt, but it is what it is, right? You don't always get it right in business. And we've continued to learn and remain relevant as a studio. And again, credit to Kalos of always keeping us in the conversation, always keeping us relevant. What is that next thing? We're going to find a way to hitch our wagon to that and incorporate that into the vision of the studio. And that is one of the reasons why we will continue to be here and continue to be batting in the big leagues. But again, I just would reiterate what I've said before. Like the TCG was always going to be a slow cook. So let it cook. I think we're in a better place than ever in terms of the direction of the TCG and the execution. And I think that will start to bear itself out in the next few months, to that point of August being kind of where that should be more clear than it is now. So,
yeah,
I've always said the TCG has the bones of a great game, but I think with Deception, it's going to start to have the this is gruesome, but the flesh of a great game as well. It's like
meat.
We're getting past the bones. And I don't want to glaze Veen super hard while he's here, but it seems pretty clear Veen joining the team was that turning point. Don't even respond. It's too much glazing. Quinto, hit us with the next question.
Okay, yeah.
Pivoting.
So, talking about something that it's wildly expected by the community, the Go Fast patch. Can we talk anything regarding the technicals, for example, regarding the serialization refactor cut servers response from 300 ms to 0.6 ms? Can you walk us through the engineering breakthrough that made that possible and how players will feel that change day to day?
So the engineering breakthrough was we let Dave actually take a look at it and spend time coding it, because before Dave is getting his time pulled in so many different directions. But when we saw the downtime of, so effectively the game as it stands is always asking if everything's okay. The server is like, yes, it's okay, and then the game says, okay, I'll move on. That's why you can't queue actions right now, right? And the serialization said every time you said anything to the server, before it began its response back, it took 300 milliseconds to get an idea of what it wanted to say and then respond back. And now that gap is down to less than 1 millisecond. Effectively, there was a lot of stuff happening that didn't need to happen in a way that could have been sequenced in a far more logical way. And part of this was also possible when we got to an increased server tick rate, and that was enabled by upgrading to a new version of Unity. There's a lot that comes with that in terms of like upgrading versions of Unity isn't free, both in terms of the literal cost and the time to actually like refactor your code and migrate. But luckily, most of what's changing doesn't actually matter. There's like one or two things we talked about in a call earlier today, but that stuff should be fixed. But ideally, the serialization stuff is easy to merge and easy to push. And after we test it, we just have to make sure, because you have every card in the game asks the server that question, is it okay? And every card needs to get a response back that the server says it's okay, and that works. And we need to make sure that it doesn't break for literally any card in the game, if that makes sense.
Because if you're queuing actions and like one in the middle gets through that shouldn't, and then everything else after that's going to be messed up for like it's just going to break the whole game state.
Right, correct. Actually, so the game currently, while it's waiting for a response from the server, is designed such that it just doesn't take additional inputs.
Right. And so changing that's the risk, is it would take input but get like jammed up somehow. I don't know the right language.
Correct.
But...
Yes. Yeah. Precisely. Yes.
And that's like hardcore development stuff, right? That's where you go beyond just like writing some scripts. That's like deep, like improving the way, like going from 300 milliseconds to one is like hardcore.
Yeah. And then like this is the caliber of developer that we've hired. Like we have people who can look at these problems and solve them. It just takes them an amount of time equal to the severity of the problem, right? And if we're having our senior engineers work on, helping us make the play field work, like that just takes a lot of their time that theoretically could be better allocated toward a harder, deeper problem. So a lot of this was mobile really did put a lot of development on pause, because it was an all hands on deck scenario where we needed everyone to be in the trenches getting us ready to release on mobile. It was the most important thing. And I don't regret that work at all. But now that work is mostly done, we're allowed to reallocate resources to these greater problems that have been just systemic leaks and problems for the since the beginning of the game. But like, as long as it functioned, it was good enough, right? Well, now good enough isn't good enough. We want it to be excellent, and that's where we're going.
Yeah. Just to clarify one thing Dean just said there. Before we get to a quote unquote global release of mobile, it's probably going to be like 3 more patches. So what he means by mostly done is that like just to get it from 0 to 1 is a lot of work, and that's the point being made there. It's not to say that it's finished. It's definitely not, but we're getting there.
Thanks for clarifying. What I mean by mostly done is we've spent over a year on it, and it's not going to take another year to get out. It's going to take another financial quarter, basically. Like after 3 months, you should notice significant improvements that come with playing field, post-match screens, like all the stuff that we shared in the blog. Like Nicole just buried us in new stuff here, which is awesome. And that stuff is like the dev is done, the UI is done. We need to then integrate this and then do the additional dev to weave it all together across all the clients, then do the testing, then push it out. And all of that takes actual time. But like, this isn't theory anymore. This is just a when, not an if.
And it's cool to see Fino tweeted he got top 5 or something like that, playing almost entirely from mobile this season. So that's, I mean, first time I've seen someone post anything like that, not just playing a few games, but grinding a whole season. Super, super cool.
Yeah, he said he played mostly on iPad, which was super cool. I also saw him on paddle boats playing. I saw him on the beach playing. His travel log of playing parallel from beautiful locations is a lot of fun.
He needs to vlog just like him living his amazing life, and then just mix in a few shots of parallel here and there, and it's boom, it's done. Great content.
Yeah, 100%.
Before we get too much farther, I realized before someone asked, who are these people? And we haven't actually introduced ourselves. Our name is on the screen, but like people might not know who we actually are. So I'm Andrew Veen. I'm the game director of the Parallel TCG.
Yeah.
I'm Franklin Fitch. I do some stuff here. I'm not really sure what that is, but I hang around.
There's
You know,
a
I
lot
hang
of
around. Yeah, I hang around. But I think you guys know me. If you don't know me, I'd be a little surprised. So
I'm Flux, and my goal in life is to become the court jester, and hopefully not have my head cut off too hard.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for introducing yourself. So, I want to move on into like just one more thing regarding the technical deep dive, regarding queued actions. What design or tech hurdles still stand between today's architecture and that ideal instant response gameplay model?
we also have Nicole in the chat, by the way. So like she is also going to be one of the best sources of information for answering that exact question. I'm curious to see if she has an answer for it, but I'll let Veen crack at it.
I'll crack at it. I hope that our answers match. But the
Be awkward
the
if they didn't, right?
the short version is it's still the game fundamentally is a call and response. It's do respond, do respond, do respond, do respond. And like that's not impossible to change, but it is a fundamental change. It would need to be something where we effectively dedicate all hands on deck to pay attention to this change, is my understanding. And it would put it would have to refactor almost everything in the way the cards work. However, we want to get there. Everything that we're doing now helps. Like the serialization in help was a huge move forward in that regard. But we would have to get away from the fact that the game was at the very beginning coded to be do okay, do okay, do okay.
Okay.
Quinto, you're gonna bend those cards. You're stressing me out. Put those in some sleeves, brother.
I like fidgeting with the cards. This is a pack.
What card is it? Let's see it.
This is supply and demand.
Very nice. That's it. That's all I needed to see. I don't mean to distract everybody.
Okay.
Go, by the way, like Badgie just clipped us talking about the tech debt, and I think people are already getting excited to hear about these changes that have happened. Quinto, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for explaining and taking the time to explain a bit more on the technical side of things. I think it's really important, people understanding a bit about it. And also, I mean, as I said, really excited for the release of this Go Fast patch. It's one of the things that I've seen most of the community talk about and ask for it, basically. So yeah. Moving on into the next questions regarding mobile. Mobile performance looks solid now, but key screens like Deck Builder are still missing. What lessons did the team learn when retrofitting a PC-first TCG for phones, and how are you applying them to the remaining UI heavyweights?
We need Nicole on the next stream, Veen.
She's available. She can jump in right now if she wants to.
The thing is, I don't want to. So this is exactly what she's good at, and this is exactly why she's our superpower. But I don't want to commit her to something that she doesn't want to do, because I like the fact that whenever I ask Nicole for things, I get them.
She
Nicole,
said, "Is Nicole camera ready?" Though she said, "Is Nicole Nicole? You're always
Nicole camera ready, bro? Have you seen me?
We're much less." Camera ready.
On average, is more camera ready than we will ever be.
You're welcome to be microphone only if you'd want. I'm just saying, she's welcome to join if she wants. If she doesn't respond, we'll just assume the answer is no. It's all good. But like she's saying,
we'll do it next time. We don't want to stress her out right now.
We'll try again next time.
You can come. Just jump into the Discord if you're down. I'm trying to steamroll this into happening. Nicole, if you can, just ping us on Discord. We'll get you in if we can. Either way, we'll keep talking.
Well, she can ping us in Slack, and then we could.
Get in here. We're gonna have to wait for next time. But okay, it's all right. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a
I'm
that
gonna
was an
send her the
interesting
video. She's hitting me up on Slack.
Awesome. Hook her up. In the meantime, so what? The question was.
Can I pawn this off on you, Bitch, so I can answer the question, or do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to?
People are gonna love this. Like bringing Nicole on right now goes to show how y'all can just. It's all open. No one's trying to prepare.
This is exactly what we're trying to talk about, right? Like when we talk about whether or not we're building it transparently and in the open, and people are asking us for these deadlines, and they're asking for access to the team. Like we are actively trying. This was something that Fitch asked me like, I don't know, what was this, 3 months ago? He was like, "Hey man, do you want to become more of the face of the game? Do you want to be on Twitter more? Do you want to like start doing streams? Like, do you want to take this role?" And it made sense to me, and I think it's going super well. And if people are enjoying access to more people talking about these things more, I only want to have it increase.
And the thing is, there's two things with communication. Sometimes more communication is good, and sometimes it's legitimately bad. Like sometimes when businesses, games, at least in my experience, over communicate, there are ways that it's not helpful, of course. So I can definitely see both sides. But this kind of communication, especially if it did work out for Nicole to join us right now, it just shows that like there's no need to prepare a pre-rehearsed statement or anything. We're just building in real time, like you said, transparently, openly. So that's the kind of thing that I think is so exciting. And for me, everyone knows, because it's really obvious, I am not the guy who's the most formal, like, all right, everybody, welcome to the interview. I'm just kind of a bit energetic in how I do everything. And so for me, I'm always super excited to just like, I don't know, for me, the things that go off script are the things that get me excited. So I just love it. It's what makes when a project.
I know. I'm actively trying to get Nicole in here right now.
Okay, let's do it.
So while she's setting up, I will sort of soft lay up parts of the answer. The shipping mobile without a deck builder was a necessary evil. It is totally. I shouldn't say totally. It is by minimum, by definition, functional to have the ability to save the deck on a different client or work on the web and import the code. And it's it is a sad state to be here. However, we do know now how to prioritize in the future what MVP means. We also learned a lot about how to communicate timelines, and I'll leave to Nicole what else we learned in terms of like personnel timelines and learnings about the screens.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, just mute yourself in VOD Ninja because you have an echo from that, and then you'll be good.
Yep.
Can you hear
and
me?
take your time, by the way. There's absolutely no rush. I know on stream people stress, but
sorry,
like,
I've never used. Can you hear me? Am I good?
Yeah, you're perfect.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Fantastic.
What are we talking about? Oh, mobile.
So,
yes.
The question. Can you repeat the question, Quinto?
Oh yeah, she's become cute on the.
Oh man, I was gonna say I look better now.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, Nicole.
Everyone say hello, Nicole, in the chat. Say hi, Nicole.
Nicole is our delivery director. She's a super producer for the game.
Producer.
Yeah. So basically,
Thank you so much for joining us, by the way.
Basically, the question was mobile performance looks solid now, but key screens like Deck Builder are still missing. What lessons did the team learn when retrofitting a PC-first TCG for phones, and how are you applying them to the remaining UI heavyweights?
Yeah, so there's a few things that goes behind the UI changes on mobile, and a lot of it also has to do with just how assets are loaded. So it's trying to get obviously these big screens that were made for PC, which I think if you guys do remember how different the screens used to be, they used to be quite small, text was small, etc. So getting them on a mobile screen required just a complete design overhaul, as in like we needed a designer to come in, make everything fit in a smaller screen. But then there's also the loading aspect, like actually getting things to properly load in on a tiny device. So things like the deck builder, things like Battle Pass, those are quite asset screens, especially collections. So things like collections, we actually had to say, this is going to take a few months. We actually have to refactor how images are loaded into the game so that they work on mobile. Originally, the game was pretty much built on the collection screen where all assets were loaded in. So every single card was called to load into the screens, and typically you want to load things incrementally or paginated. So we had to refactor those screens. So to that point, that's why these items specifically, deck builder, battle pass, things like that, they took longer. So we said let's put it out without them. We'll live with the web deck builder for now, even though it's not the most it's not the best experience. But anyway, they're in the works now. So for sure, deck builder we're going to try and get out within the next 2 months. Battle pass will be in for 6.6 for sure.
Nice. Nice.
I have to ask, how do you manage this kind of job? Like, your job seems to be handle a million small things and make sure they're all handled. Like, how does one handle that kind of task, that kind of role, and not go complete? You seem like you're sane. You don't seem like you've lost your mind. So how is that possible?
Yeah, I don't know if that's just a cover up because but it's I don't know, it's more that's a personal question. It depends what you're good at in life, and my brain seems to work very well on multitasking and having so many things to handle. I can't focus on just one thing. I need multiple things. So
Anecdotally, earlier in a meeting, there was a Nicole moment that showcased this superpower where we were talking about like 4 or 5 different things that needed to have tickets created for them and be noted. And then someone took the time to say, okay, let's make sure that Nicole has the time to create this ticket and assign it to me. And Nicole was like, oh, and she went to create it. Oh, I already did it. And then said it was already assigned. So it's just like, yeah, in real time, she's always just processing and paying attention and looking to summarize. And like, it is astounding to see because sometimes like I forget to update the text in Jira for an entire month, and she forgets nothing across multiple teams.
Yeah, Nicole is genuinely the GOAT. I think the wheels would have fallen off this thing a long time ago were it not for her. So let's get some GOAT emojis in the
Thank you
chat.
guys. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
No, that's really nice of you. Thank you so much. But I do want to say to Veen's point, sometimes we talk about the cards and like he's already computed how a whole match will turn out with just one tiny change in a card. So I cannot do that for the life of me. So he's giving me grace, but like
it's a
multiple
different
times
superpower,
like,
right?
Veen, I don't know how your brain's working right now. He's just parsed through like 300 cards and figured out the
Is really what makes parallel so special, though. This is the parallel effect. I think I felt it for sure, which is if you spend time here and you find your place, you'll end up focused on your superpower and you'll be able to focus on it. I know that's how I feel. Like now that I'm so focused on content, when I'm talking about YouTube videos with the boys, that's how I feel. I'm like, I can see titles, thumbnails. I can imagine this idea gets this many views, but oh, this version gets more, but this one gets less. This one I don't know yet. We got to test. Like, when you get those branching paths of like the matrix opening up in your mind for that topic, it's like that's probably a good thing for you to focus on. And it sounds like that's what you're experiencing, Nicole. Is this is just like exactly the kind of job that works for your brain, where most people, if there's 4 or 5 tickets to make, they'll make 0. They'll get overwhelmed and just none of them get made. So that's really interesting. I appreciate you answering that. Quinto, I didn't mean to like completely derail us. I don't know if you want to get us back on track.
No, it's fine. Thanks for your comments, Flux. Always appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, moving on in the mobile rollout, we have another question here regarding the Buttersmooth drag and drop mentioned in the blog. What player feedback metrics will tell you that you have truly nailed the feel?
What player feedback metrics?
Yeah.
When the complaints stop is a big one. Like right now, there is just a lot of complaints where like the number one piece of feedback from someone who is just joining the game is like, why can't I queue actions? Why does this feel slow? And like we know, right? And I think that in order for it to be truly done is when we have action queuing, but for it to be buttery smooth is when we can roll out the just the sequencer changes, like sequencer changes plus or serializer changes plus the server side changes plus everything that makes up the go fast patch. I think is when we want to say come look at us and like focus on the gameplay experience and focus on how everything feels better. But I think until players are satisfied and tell us like it feels wonderful and stop complaining entirely, I don't think that we're pencils down. I think that we're not done until like action queuing, sadly.
Yeah. Well, and also talking about that, I mean, buttery smooth and all, regarding more inclusion of, let's say, animations, UX, like cool stuff for like what you included, that it's especially specifically for a parallel, where it's like the line that shows it has a color and has this little animation there or anything. Is there more of that coming in?
Paul's disconnected right now, V. So just
Sorry,
Okay.
if you
can you
can-
hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
We can
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
you.
This is really bad. I'm so sorry. I'm really bad at this, clearly.
No,
No worries.
we
You
can
left
hear
the
you. We
Video
can,
Ninja. That's all. You left the Video Ninja in your browser. Honestly, it's okay if your voice is here and the camera's not. It's all. Because the thing is, we're talking to the parallel community. We're not really like talking to a million new people. Obviously, this is an insider conversation. So like, if the camera's on or off, I just think no one is too worried about it. But for sure, like, if you want to put me back on or get her back on or leave it blank, I think we're all here for the conversation and not to stare at each other's faces. So maybe I'm being too casual, but I'd just say, because we're having a really good conversation. I want to
Yeah,
make mess
so-
use of the time we have.
Actually, I'll let Nicole take it. I think that's a good Nicole question.
Was it regarding, sorry, animations?
Yeah.
Just the status of where they're at and what we're looking at.
What was the question?
there?
Can you repeat it?
So, like, there was before an inclusion of, for example, a line where you like grab stuff and the cards and put them in some in the board, for example. That
The fishing
it's
line.
how is it called?
We call it the
fishing line.
fishing line.
The fishing line. Yeah, the fishing line.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the fishing line now has like an animation, has a color, depending on the parallel. Like, is there more animations and cool stuff like that coming in for different aspects of the game? And yeah, that's mainly my question.
Yeah, so for animation specifically, there's a lot of older animations in the game, like from way from the beginning. The fishing line was the drag, that line to drag everything to different areas, and that was the original decision that was made. That's what we want. So when it comes to things like animations or special effects, things like that, it's whatever was in the game, essentially. We have looked at some of them, but we haven't really like dove down deep into them. There's a few things that relate to sort of the speed or what feels good in terms of animations in our game. A lot of it has to do with the fact that the server takes a while to respond back saying, yes, go ahead, do the next thing. Or like, you've made an action, let me ask if it's okay. Okay, now show animation. So the animations themselves, there's nothing really wrong with them. It's actually, it takes a long time to get a response back, and therefore the animations feel like they take really long.
Okay.
So we can only speed them up a certain amount we can only change them a certain amount. It's only when the server comes back in a faster way that the animations will feel better. But there are ones that we can enhance or make look better and more, I guess, current to our current style. And we know that the ones Veen was mentioning today are queued animations like reveal and conceal, which are a thorn in everyone's side, clearly are ones that we don't want to make. Like, we don't want to keep having this issue where like you're showing card after card after card after card after card and people are just sitting there. So to answer your question, we're going to be looking closer at animations. Specifically, we want to look at reveal and conceal because those are the ones that people
It's a
don't
pain
like
point.
just sitting through. Yeah, it's a quite painful one. So let's find a solution, even if it's an interim one, and then we maybe redesign some of them. And then we are going to look at some nicer effects that we can add to cards that are more current to like our current I guess look and feel and quality of the game versus what we've had from before, which are just older that were just put in there to have something, right?
Like to expand on that, we're already talking about visual upgrades for certain abilities. We're talking about ideally getting rid of the fishing line and letting you just drag and drop the card. We're talking about having the bank look better. Like when your question is about like these things that are final polishing touches on certain aspects of the game, like we're trying to make stuff look and feel better in addition to what we're doing for the next 3 months, but a lot of that stuff is going to come post this like very deep focus on game stability and game feel.
Yeah.
But like that stuff is in queue. I know that like Nicole specifically really wants drag and drop card, and that's something that we all believe in, but it's something that couldn't get into this 3 month period. It just had to get pushed. But
Yeah, that fishing line's gonna get rid of it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We want the
line.
feel of the cards themselves to have
Yeah.
weight, to feel like, a card game type of thing. So but it will come for sure.
Awesome. Nice
I want
to
to
hear.
get to I want to get to Agent K's question as well. So he said, "I'd love to know the rationale for doing a mobile MVP on such huge scale, et cetera, et cetera." Kind of continuing on that point. First of all, I would challenge the idea that we did it on a huge scale. We didn't. It was rolled out in a few targeted geos. So, yeah, it wasn't done at a huge scale. And I think that, the question is like, was the scale more than it was appropriate for at the time? That's kind of a valid question. I think you can sit there and you can nitpick a lot in business on, was this the right time to push X, Y, and Z versus just kind of be in a mindset of trying to push forward. And I understand that, gaming is a bit different of an industry where kind of the final polish of something is more important to deliver at the time in which you're creating the most impressions. But again, I would emphasize like this wasn't a global launch. It was launched on Android in a couple countries. And so I wouldn't call that huge scale. And that's kind of where I would sort of primarily answer that point. But then I think the other point is just, again, overall, having a mindset to push, understanding that, there's always going to be some delta between how ready you are and when the push happens. But now, what does that give us? What is the outcome of that that's different? Well, now we've bought the product team more time, because then we can go to leadership and we can say, hey, leadership, people are having, X, Y, and Z complaints or feedback about the current state of the game. And that's just in the areas that we've launched thus far, just in the sort of platforms or formats that we've launched thus far. We need to go back and we need to spend more time on the product, right? And then they'll say, okay, now that we have more veracity on that, we're going to do that, and basically devote what we've got now, which is a few more even deployment cycles to improve the experience before we would go and do what would be called a global launch. So I think the outcome is a good one, and want to emphasize that sometimes you got to push, sometimes things aren't ready to be pushed, and then you learn lessons from that and do things differently the next time. So
Yeah. Awesome.
and there's a deeper part of that answer that I just can't give you. So I mean, again, there's always going to be things internally that you don't have eyes on, and I can't change that. There's competing or conflicting business priorities depending on who you ask. Also, just like things that I can't speak about, that maybe it made more sense than it might seem like to you to do it that way. So there's always going to be that, and I wish that I could fix that problem, but unfortunately I can't. So.
Okay, sounds good. So, Deception will be the first 100% in-house set with months of internal Q&A and a public test server. How will that longer runway change balance philosophy compared with Aftermath?
So excited.
How will it
Good
change
question.
balance philosophy is a solid question. So this is the first time that this is the first time that we will have the type and quality and quantity of testing before the set releases that we've ever had. I think that the reason that we're running a tournament with the support of Echelon, thanks to the Echelon Prime Foundation, the reason we're doing that is to stress test the set. We really want to say, come bring your best, show us what we messed up, show us what's broken, show us what's dominant. And I doubt that Deception will remain unchanged between PTS and release.
Do you want to speak about PTS a little bit as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So because our team delivers a lot faster than I expect all the time, we're actually getting public test server earlier than we expected. So we're going to have the public test server, instead of just being available for 2 weeks before Deception launches for Deception, it's going to be available earlier with most of the refactor and some of Go Fast to sort of get out there and be testable and let people see what's going on. And show that what we're working on is real. And this actually is non-trivial in helping us test and load balance and stress test and give us data on what's broken and what works. And obviously, the more people file bug reports on that, the better. By the way, just a shout out to everyone that files bug reports. I know you think they go to a vacuum, but all of the improvements that we make that come from card logic or come from this is a soft lock, like without bug reports, we wouldn't be able to solve them. So thanks a lot. And when the PTS goes live, I would absolutely love for that to continue.
I will confirm this. There's been so many times on stream I submit a bug or someone in my chat. Sometimes it's not even me, because me, okay, people know me a little bit. The team knows me. I'll have someone in my chat who doesn't know the team at all. They'll report a bug, and one of the Bs is in my chat 5 minutes later, like, hey, we got the bug report. Is the person here? Oh, hey, like, can I DM you and ask? Like, I see it in real time. I've never seen anything like it ever in my life of gaming. It's wild.
So yeah, that's the kind of thing that if the community that we have continues to be as amazing as they are in terms of giving us this sort of ground level intel, then we think the PTS is going to be an excellent resource for us moving forward, just in terms of tech, but in terms of balance, like that's why we're previewing it 2 weeks early. Like, spoiler, I'm doing this to cheat. I want to know what's going to happen and make changes if I need to.
So the PTS will be live, concurrently. It will stay live, where
Yes.
people will be able to test the next balance changes at a
possibly
some level.
So we whenever there's a big like shotgun patch style change, yes, but we plan on turning the once Deception rolls out, we'll turn the PTS off, but prior to making the next changes, we'll turn it back on and let people on to change it is the current plan.
Okay, sounds good.
It's not going to be up 24/7, 365.
Okay. I mean, this is a great change and a great idea, because definitely testing beforehand and opening it up to the public will help a lot to identify possible bugs and things overall.
Good question from Jeremy. It's super random, maybe too
Same
specific,
client.
but will it be a menu item or a separate client? I don't know why.
So
that
it'll be in the loader, but it'll be a separate client
okay.
In the launcher.
in the launcher.
So you won't be able to use Epic for this. You'll have to use the native launcher.
You have to use the launcher, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So moving on with Deception. What new design space or narrative themes does Deception open up that you couldn't tackle before owning the full code base?
Did you write these, Quinto? These are crazy questions.
There might have been some AI involved in formulating the questions, hypothetically.
I mean, these are really thoughtful. Like, I mean, I'm just like, damn, that's great questions.
Yeah, no, I love this. This has been a lot of fun. I would say that it's less that we got it in-house. I'll explain why in-house is great for design specifically in a minute, but I will say that the real, like, what has opened up lore and mechanical space more has been just being ahead of time, like having time for Greg to work on what Deception story is and what Haven story is and who the people are, and being able to tie battle passes together and get lore coming out with battle passes, and having me work with him to top line all of what the parallels are doing in a given set. Like, there's a lot more cohesion in the design file of Deception in terms of what each parallel is doing, for good or for ill. We'll see if it's good when the players like it. But I felt like it was something that was worth experimenting with and worth doing. And the benefit to being in-house is I get to know for a fact when I've made cards. I run through the cards and mechanics with the engineers months before they work on them, and I say, hey, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to give this to the art team to start working on. Is this realistic? Is this something you can deliver? And they say what is and isn't possible then, so we don't have a lot of wasted time later on.
Sounds good. So basically, it enables more synergies between For
Cross
example,
team. Yeah, exactly.
okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So moving on into game modes and progression, like you guys have talked about including new game modes, which are the priority in terms of order for the new game modes coming in.
So draft is number one for sure. This is not a close discussion. We have a like working model of what we think the draft should look like. It's been approved by leadership. We're going to have the engineering discussion start on this soon. It's not going to be something that we touch in the next 3 months. Again, this is not stability or game experience. So don't expect it to be delivered anytime even close to soon. I can't even put it on the roadmap for you as to when it'll be delivered. But draft mode is the first thing coming. We think we've got it monetized. We think we've got it in a developable state. And we even have a vibe-coded playtest of just being able to draft using the buckets and assignments that we have. And we're waiting for certain flags and debug flags to exist in the PTS that let us playtest drafted draft decks against each other to see what we can do. But the other half of the question, I want to let Nicole answer.
So I'm going to reference quick play if that's
Exactly what I wanted to hand it over for you.
Cool. Yeah. So quick play is going to come in ideally our next patch, so not 66, the one after. This one was meant to tackle. This has been in the works for quite a long time. Just in terms of ideation and figuring out what to do, how to lay it all out and then make the changes necessary and replace rookie queue and unranked essentially. So quick play is going to be the new spot that people go in when they first join the game. So instead of going to rookie queue, you are going to just be press play and join. And we took inspiration from most other TCGs, and especially like just looking at Marvel Snap or something like that, where you just press play and you just keep playing, right? You want people to keep playing and enjoying themselves and want to play the next match. And after each match, they get their dopamine hits, they get rewards, they get things that will help them progress throughout the game. So I think quick play to start is going to be fantastic. It's going to look really great and it's going to feel really great, and it's not going to be so much. It's not going to be like I've done rookie queue. Okay, now what? You can just go in there and casually play as much as you want. It's just going to be game after game after game, and you'll get apparition packs. You'll get whatever we say you'll get in between each match. So yeah, you'll see no more rookie. You'll see no more unranked. But it's all just a combination of that, and it's just going to be a place where you can go and play. The first iteration of it will come out for 6-7, but I'm assuming we're going to get some nicer opening experiences, animations, and harder dopamine hits once we get some more feedback on it. So I'm sure there'll be some iteration on it, but that's going to help with just establishing better progression and just keeping people in one queue. We called it one queue.
We called it one queue for quite
That's
a while.
What we used to name it. Yeah, one queue. One queue, and that's it. So it will be ranked, which I don't know if we've discussed that it's going to be called something different, and quick play.
This is so good because it feels like when people are starting to play, they're clicking this button and they're learning that it's like the science experiments on mice and stuff. I don't want to compare us to rats. I'll call them mice, where they like have a button to hit and they get dopamine and they hit it till they die basically because they don't even want to eat anymore. Hopefully not that extreme, but the idea of like you're playing rookie mode, you're hitting the button, it's taking you into games, you complete that, you're getting some packs, you're getting those soft dopamine hits, you're unlocking some ranks, you're blah blah blah, and you're hitting this one button. It's not like
that's what we think, right?
Yeah.
It should be substantially easier. It's something where like it was ridiculous that we had it as such a labyrinth before. Like it's just something where it took looking at what other games were doing to be like, we're just approaching this problem wrong. Like, and being able to revisit it and rebuild, like we ripped out a bunch of queues and put a bunch of logic in. The things that are exciting about it is like it will adapt to your record. Like if as a new player, if you consistently lose every time it matches you against players, you'll then go back to winning against bots until you get more rewards and understand how to play. Then they'll player you against players again, right? Like it has the ability to really engineer your play experience to be where your skill level is. In a way that we can be super hands-on with, in a way that we can't do in a ranked queue, right? Like we can't fix matches in ranked. That's crazy. That affects people's prime payouts. That affects league points. Like that's something that's we can't do it. So once we leave ranked as the sacrosanct, like thou shalt not touch the matchmaking, we can let unranked, just quick play, be exactly what the player experience should be for their level of experience and their current level of skill.
Yeah.
And you'll give, you get,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nicole.
oh, sorry, I was gonna say we get you get some player choice in there too through the rewards, which we haven't done before. So you can pick cards that you want to add to your deck now. You can pick the the Paragon that you want to unlock in your next match. So it's more fun for the player, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well-
mean, they're talking about like unlockable comics and progression and comic loading screens and things.
Oh,
I mean, I know these
yeah.
ideas have come up, so I just, if you, I don't know if you guys want to speak. To that.
100%. So like this is something where as soon as we have, this is on the list of dope shit to do when we have the time. And like I really want something like this. I think that Greg was talking about doing it where each loading screen is a panel and you just slowly read through all the comics, even if you don't have them unlocked. So like you just, every time you hit a loading screen, the next panel plays, right? And you can just watch it like a movie effectively as you play. That sounds super dope. I'm very excited about it. It's not something that we're going to examine in the next 3 months because we're like just very blinders on about what we need to deliver in 6.6 and 6.7. However, like that also goes hand in hand with the new player experience for 1Q, right? Like if someone's playing and they want to know more about the lore, currently the game doesn't do a good job of showcasing that. You have to go elsewhere. And so integrating that and getting people hooked early is something that is clearly part of the plan, just not something that we're going to do soon.
Yep. Very nice. So, talking about quick play, what KPIs are you targeting to declare it a success?
What KPIs regarding like the?
Are you targeting to declare quick play a success?
I don't know. I don't think we have any defined yet.
Okay.
That's a good question.
It's like, I don't know. There's kind of a variety of different paths that you could take to try and answer that. So the obvious one is like, would retention numbers be higher? But then retention is not just a function of when your first game is. And like, look, I think we know right now rookie mode is just not good for retention at all. It's like quite bad of a system for retention, and quick play will be much better for that. But then, retention also has to do with other changes that we want to make or things that we want to investigate around, for example, the tutorial or just like people's ability to load the client effectively. So yeah, I mean, the short answer is you would want to see retention go up.
Yeah. What number constitutes success? Like any improvement is success, right? But like, I don't know what number makes me truly happy. As soon as I define that, I'll let you know. Like, that's not something I'm trying to keep secret. It's just something where it's like, I know we want movement upward in retention, but I don't know what we call success versus not success based on the effort. Like, should I have that answer? Probably, based on spending the effort. But like, it's been hard to define because it's such a, like what Fitch was saying, it's such a clear improvement over the current system that we didn't really come up with metrics. It's just like, yeah, we want this. It's so much better. Let's go with this.
I think we
Awesome.
can see how many games a new player has played, or like game day 1, day 3, day 5. So that would be something that we could take a look at too. We want to increase the amount of games you're playing so that you're just staying in there and having more fun, right? So we could probably look at those for.
Yeah, the D3,
yeah.
D7 retention numbers are huge. Like that's what we want to move the needle on.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, so looking forward, fast forward to the end of 2025, if you could guarantee only one of the roadmap items ships perfectly, which would you choose and why?
Dude, these questions.
These are very good questions.
Who wrote these? I need to know. I'm serious.
J. Crew came up with the initial list, so he deserves
Yeah.
the primary credit. I think.
Yeah,
Dude, J. Crew,
Yeah, it was
low-key
J.
crushed
Crew.
it. These are amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
We probably all have a different answer, potentially.
I think so. Let me go look at the roadmap myself. Oh, if I could guarantee something went off like as well as I wanted to without a problem, is that the question? I would say go fast. Like go fast is near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
I would say quick placey. Like my answer would be different.
Okay.
That's so funny because I kind of have another answer. I was kind of leaning on like the speed of the game first. I think that's actually the most vital. It's the go fast patch for sure because that solves a lot of underlying issues that we have in general. So it's more than the game going fast. It's really going into the code. But we also have the new playing field coming up.
Yeah.
Which is really gonna enable us to play on mobile properly. So,
Yeah, I mean this is what I. Yeah, go ahead, Bean. Sorry.
If you're thinking
It's
about
okay.
using the question as a cheat code, where it's like if I get to guarantee that nothing goes wrong with it, I think that playing field also has the most things that could go wrong with it. So using that as an answer means that you get to save the most. Like it's a good use of your spell.
Yeah, this question highlights a point that I was trying to make earlier. Something that I've talked to Agent K about is that like at a company, at an organization of this size with this many things going on, there are competing interests. Like people have different views of things, right? And you have to come to a consensus that factors all those things in, right? It doesn't like my view of a situation is potentially different from Nicole's, and hers is potentially different from Bean's, and so on and so forth. Like, you know, if you're asking me about that question, the reason that I would give you an answer of quick play is because quick play, it massively improves the retention problem and helps you onboard people to the game, which is my job, right? Of putting, you know, cramming people into the game. So, you know, it's just to highlight that like there are different perspectives and the job is to balance them and try and come to a better decision together. So.
And that's why it's meaningful that we all believe in the Nicole's direction in the blog. Like when she spearheaded the initiative of like, let's talk about the next 3 months like it's the next 3 months is its own entity. It is what we're going to do, and then we have to just stop. Like if you could only have 3 more months to get work done on this game and send it away forever, what would you want done? And then it's like make painful choices, right? Like actually cut things that everyone wants. Like again, I agree with all of these ideas about drag and drop cards, and Nicole agrees with ideas that I want in the game. It's just that we agree that the current prioritization is the best for getting the game to the best place that it can be on this timeline that we feel very comfortable saying that we can deliver on.
Yeah, this question about syncs is interesting just because we just had a kind of a cook session on this the other day. Fingers crossed, but there could be some fucking awesome syncs coming. I don't know when, to be honest, but it actually starts to feel like stuff that is just like what this industry wants.
Yes.
So look, you can sit here and fight it, you know, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm not gonna say too much on that, but we had a session where I was like, damn, these are fucking cool. And
I gotta cut you off before we end up not being able to upload this. Just like don't say any more immediately because you're gonna end up being like, wait, I shouldn't have said that. I'm gonna cut
okay.
us.
All right.
Wait, there are questions in the chat, and then we can get back to Quinto's list here if I got a few more. But Nomega asked an interesting one. The answer might just be no, I don't know. But he asked, is there any plans to try to incentivize people to queue up with lesser played paragons? And he referenced MMR, Prime, or otherwise. No. And the answer is an immediate no, which I kind of thought so, to be honest, but I wanted to give it a chance. Sorry, Nomega. I tried, bro. All right, Quinto. Next. Depression.
Yeah.
Misery.
I just have one more question
nice.
regarding the esports side of things. So there's a lot of money invested right now in the esports seasons of Parallel, in the Parallel League. What are the plans to engage more with the esports side of things? There's have been ideas like Twitch drops. I know, Fitch, you have mentioned that you're not doing any more giveaways or that sort. what are the incentives for people to engage more with with parallel esports?
More accessible game. Zach, can I answer that?
And we're going to fix tournaments.
Yeah. So look, now you could say that maybe we started esports prematurely. That's fine. As I spoke to before, there's a philosophy of how you do business, and every company is going to have some difference of opinion on what their company philosophy is. Generally speaking, there's a spectrum between we push hard and we're aggressive, or we're ultra conservative. That's a vast oversimplification, but let's assume for a moment that that's true. Parallel tends to be towards the left side of that equation. And so we push and try and do things and are aggressive with opportunities. And, we pursued the esports opportunity set and are going to continue to pursue it. And at the end of the day, I think we want the game to be capable of being like a fully operational onboarding vehicle to really go to the full extent that we can go with the esports plans. For the time being, the esports scene helps keep the game relevant and helps keep high quality players here and playing. And if it's just doing that, at least for the time being, that's pretty good. But no, we have a lot that we want to do. We've already got a venue picked for the next iteration of Worlds that I'm really excited about.
Hype for that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking me right now, my mindset is on like basically running a lean ship to the extent that we can, at least from the parallel expenses side of things for the remainder of this esports season, but keeping it exciting, and then really try and blow the top off of it for the following season. Because at that point, there will be really no excuses. Like the client will be where it needs to be, and then you've got the largest prize pool, that really would exist probably in TCG world with that season. So then you can kind of blow things out of the water. But at the end of the day, you have to accept where you are, and when you get to where you want to be, then you go full tilt. So
Yep. Fair answer, Fitch. Completely understand it. And yeah, well, we have come to the end of the interview here, but we have some surprises brought to you by Veen, and well, by the whole team.
I just wanted to shout out again that interview was fantastic, spectacular. Thanks for the prep time. It really made the whole thing more enjoyable.
Okay.
That was super worthwhile.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Amazing.
Really
Glad to hear
appreciate it. Thanks, Flux, also for being here, supporting. So yeah, let's move on to the first reveal. You ready?
So before we
Okay.
reveal, there's a reason that I want to reveal 2 cards. And the reason that I'm revealing 2 cards is because both of these cards are going to be available through the Deception Faucet. For the first time ever, we're going to do 2 cards in the Faucet. It's important that we share these cards in particular because we think that they're going to be format staples. Ideally, I would like everyone, even if they can't afford to play Deception, if they're free-to-play players, to have access to these cards because I think that this is part of how Deception is going to shape the parallel meta.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then Quinto, I don't know how you want to do avatar giveaway, but we can work that in here. Maybe after the reveals, people have to put something in chat and then we draw. I don't know, whatever you think.
So share Bombardment first, and then share the other one.
Okay, share Bombardment first. So here is Bombardment. Deal 3 damage to each unit. Universal common effect. Costs 4. Yeah.
Nice.
This is like an AoE, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, finally.
This is the
A
AoE.
universal AoE. Oh my
When
god.
Bean said he's going to reveal 2 cards, and he told us right before the interview, he was like, "Yeah, we decided to make them more like core, like key cards, not like fun cards, but cards everyone needs." And I was just like, 4 mana AOE. He was like, "Yep." So it's this. We're all gonna have it. No one's gonna be trying to do some prime grinding, but they don't have the AOE. This is for everybody, which I think is a super cool idea.
I mean,
There you go.
one of my main criticisms about the game since the beginning was that parallels needed more board resets, and definitely seeing this finally come through, it's really refreshing. This AoE, huge.
I'm excited because coming from Gods Unchained, they had almost maybe too many board clears. I played a deck that ran such an absurd amount of clears, I was clearing the board every turn. And so coming to Parallel where, there there's some classes that have literally none. It's been really, I'm really curious to see how this one seemingly innocuous little AoE spell could change everything. There's just so many boards where like the opponent has 5+ units, none of them have more than 3 health, and it's like there's no punish yet. I mean, maybe if you're playing Marco, you could use Syndrillin, or Shroud can, whatever, AOP, Demecarize, but there's no real punish there, and people are going to get punished. I think a lot of players, it's going to take them a minute to adjust and be like, okay, I can't just play a bunch of weak units and pass the turn anymore. It's going to be so interesting.
So yeah,
Sorry,
that's step 1 of 2. In terms of, we think that control needs its day in the sun, and the second card I think is one of the more exciting cards to try to give you early game answers to flood the board style tactics.
Yeah. So the second one is black market connections.
I love this. I just love this, man.
1 cost universal uncommon effect. Create 3 mercenary gunslingers that can't be banked and add them to your hand. Wow.
Oh my.
This is a cook. Like, so much value here.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's interesting is it plays with the hand restriction, right? I think
Yes.
this card, like, you guys changed it so, or forget what I was going to say, but yeah, like there's a limit of 8 cards in your hand, and so this is a sacrifice. It's like, okay, you have cheap gunslingers, but are you going to discard stuff that you wanted to draw? That's an interesting way to play with that.
So yeah, this should
These
be.
are both faucet cards? Wow.
Yeah, let's see how you guys break this in the PTS. I mean, you know.
Make
Are
them
these both
immediately.
faucet cards?
Yeah, they're both faucet.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know
Yeah.
that what the cards were.
I like the idea that you had with that, Veen, of saying, hey, we're gonna put like Mega Splice in the faucet.
Yes.
Like that's smart, and that kind of harkens back to the card that's referenced here, right? Was the Gunslinger? You know what I mean?
Yep.
'Cause
Exactly.
that was, if I'm not mistaken, was that the first faucet card? Someone tell me in chat. Was that
Was
the first
it?
one?
That's amazing. If so, yeah, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Money
Or like
Plane's
one of
playing
the
out-
earliest ones. Oh, Rug
Money
Pull was
Plane-
first. Yeah. Rug Pull was first. But it was like the second, I think. So,
Money's pointing out that both these cards go hard with logistics mastery, so Kathy complainers, get ready.
yeah. Yeah, so that's there you go.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Chat. Everyone say thank you to Veen and Fitch for leaking us these 2 cards. This is the beginning of the Deception era. You guys realize it just started. The hype for Deception. We've had cards revealed the first time. Like, it just started. In 2 or 3 months, we're going to be sitting here playing Deception. It feels so far away, but like, I've said it a
But
million
it's
times.
actually coming.
Yeah, like we're past the low point of vibes. We're heading towards all-time highs, and you can just feel it, guys. You can feel it, y'all. It's easy to be like, oh, prove it, Flux. Prove it. Screw you. I don't have to prove anything. You can feel it. Just pay attention. Just look. You know it. I know it. So I'm pumped.
Love that. By the way, let's do an avatar giveaway for chat.
Yeah.
Like forgetting about that. I'm like doing the big ending mic drop. You've got to give away an avatar. Sheesh.
Yeah. So, Quinto, do you have like some method of drawing here?
I was gonna do marbles.
Let's do marbles. God, I love it.
Yeah, but I need help setting it up. 1 second.
Pasta. We should do pasta in chat to enter. Can we do that?
Exclamation point pasta to enter the avatar giveaway once he's ready.
Pasta.
Yeah.
That's right, isn't it? PTS is July.
You can take the time to answer some of the chat questions. Meanwhile,
If anyone has any last questions, hit us now while Quinto's trying to set up marbles.
PTS
Yeah.
Deception is July, yeah.
But yeah, but and then when's the first time that PTS goes up just for Go Fast and stuff? Is it? Are we hitting any in June or no?
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
decided today, we're gonna turn it on early with some of the Go Fast stuff. So
Yeah,
probably
so-
within the next 2 weeks, let's say.
Okay, that's the question that Jatali was answering, or Jatelli was asking. So yeah, 2 weeks for PTS, and then middle of next month is when we'll turn it on for Deception.
Yep.
Good question from Cosmo. Is the board
Cosmo,
clear
yes.
going to hit stealth cards?
Specifically, yes. That's part of the reason that I felt happy with putting stealth in deception.
Makes sense, yeah. Otherwise, they could be untouchable for certain classes, and that could be.
There's a lot of there's specific stealth answers in the set too, just to make sure that we had safety valves. Like there are good reveal cards if it turns out that people need to main deck them. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that the stealth cards are fair on their own and interactable when they need to be. But if bombardment plus those cards aren't enough, we'll take action.
So I wanna get people's temperature on something here. I'm not really sure if I should do this, but I don't care. So, what is people's general feeling about universal avatars? Because I know that we've talked about this, but like, let's say hypothetically, if you had avatars currently, that you would get some for free if there was a mint, and that let's say hypothetically that they would be differentiated from the core collection of avatars, where the core collection of avatars would give you more, do more. Let's say that those two things are true. Would you guys be down with it? Interested? Yes, no, maybe.
I'm curious what chat thinks. I feel like it makes sense in terms of actually making sense, but optically people could get like weird about it if it's like, you know, avatars haven't performed as well as I wanted, and here you are minting more. That'd be like a low blow, kind of like. I could imagine that getting some traction, but as long as that's not the, it would be a
Tommy already messaged me. He's like, "What the hell?" It's like I knew I was gonna get some people upset about that. Sorry, Tommy. I genuinely am sorry, but like I'm actually curious what people think, right? So we're doing some live sentiment testing.
If it's like a tier two, like a lower tier version.
Yeah.
To me, that makes perfect sense. You know, but it's
yeah. So it wouldn't be to Nomega's point part of the same collection, right? Let's go ahead and draw that line now. There would be the core original Avatar collection and its hypothetical potential new collection, right? And let's say that there's some differentiation between the two in terms of benefits, right? If those things were true, you guys are saying that sounds interesting to you, and let's say also that you get some for free, some free mints, if you have avatars.
So, what's the reasoning behind universal avatars?
I mean, there's a variety of reasons behind it. I'm not going to get into that part right now. But if you're asking, well, I mean, I think you can draw your own conclusions on that.
Okay,
I'm asking if people are okay with it.
I would
Like, if they're
speculate that
interested in.
if you need an avatar to do certain things in Colony, then potentially like a tier 2 avatar would make sense. People can like expand their collection, but it's not only $1,000 plus assets that allow them to do so. But that's me purely speculating, and Fitch does not need to comment on it whatsoever.
Sparrow.
Yeah, there's a variety of reasons.
Sparrow saying.
Can we not ask the question in Econ? Can we ask it anywhere?
Anyone
Other
else?
than that,
So
I
we're
already
ready
gave
for the
Econ
giveaway,
their
guys.
shout out at grave risk to the entire episode early on, and we survived. So let's not push our luck here.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You guys can go
Me
ahead.
Push
type
our
in
luck.
!play. Type.
We want to play Colony. I mean, I get it. I get it.
That's good. That's the goal, right? We want people to want to play Colony.
Important, yeah. So this wouldn't be for a while, Cryptmancer. But
So this one's not for a universal avatar. This one's for a real deal.
this is for the big ones, the big Kahuna Burger.
Big burger. I might have one of those after this interview, actually. That sounds real good.
Honestly,
Okay.
I might too. I was thinking about that.
What if I want to enter, but I don't want to win? I just want to see my marble.
We can run it back
Go
if
ahead.
one of us wins.
No, I won't.
Wanna
I'm
do
not gonna.
We could do the thing with if I win, I double it, right?
Oh,
there
sick.
you go.
Yeah, I'm in for that. Great.
Yeah, we used to do that back in ye old days. So I'm gonna hit play, and then yeah, Veen wins as well. It's double, right?
What happens if I win? I don't want to be eligible.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Same thing. Double it.
Perfect.
Okay. !play. Last chance. We have 54 people out of 91 viewers right now. So last chance to type !play.
Last chance. I'm rooting for Rev. He deserves it. He's giving
Dude.
away so many things.
Go Rev. Woo.
Okay.
Yeah, someone gets the unlimited pasta card if
Ooh, pasta.
Bull wins.
Okay. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Mano saved
Yeah,
by a
yeah,
bell.
Good luck, everybody. Here we go. Let's go. It's the marbles. There we go.
I appreciate the feedback, by the way, on the avatars. Thank you.
And there we go. Yeah.
Oh no, Quinto doesn't know how to do the camera. Oh no.
No.
There you go.
Oh,
It's actually tough. This is why I do duck race.
wow, this is crazy. This is
Wait.
People
how do
make
I
it look
zoom?
easy.
wow. We're like
Actually-
way in the sky here. I
Yeah.
think we got to zoom in a bit there, Quinto.
Yeah, I don't know how
You're
to.
struggling. You can see on
Oh,
the
you
right
got it
side.
there. Yeah, you
on
got
the top right.
On the top
We're
right.
zooming
right.
Zoom
Oh,
in
no,
down
you can see who's in
Hydro,
first place when
Bremen.
you fumble the camera.
Oh,
How do I control the camera?
Money's in first.
Okay, there we go. There we
Barrow's
go.
in
got it.
second.
There
okay.
we
All right,
go.
we're getting in there. Oh, we're shooting over the
Yeah.
gap here and
There you go. He figured it out.
flying into that thing. Oh, somebody just flew off.
GL died.
Uh-oh. Sorry, Jill.
Greg down.
Cameraman is drunk. Yeah.
Someone
All right,
money plane cooking here.
Sparrows. Are these, like, can these guys win? Are these guys allowed to win?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think they're allowed to win. I
One
don't think they
third
can win.
tilts.
I don't think team members.
And in-
It's all
I
an
don't know what you
inside
guys-
job.
Yeah, you guys, what the hell are you doing in here? We have to double it again? If they, it's a lot of doubling here. This is crazy.
Gonna give away all the avatars. What's up, Otis? I see you in chat, brother. Good to see you, man.
And
Oh, Carcass!
Rip Carcass.
Carcass! That's a deserving win.
With
Carcass
the
is,
win.
There you go.
he's been around a bunch of card games and he's grinded a bunch of parallel. I
Yeah,
love to see
Rip
it.
Carcass has been
There
a great
you
supporter. For
go. GG's
Honestly,
in the
top
chat.
10 is all goated. Raptor in second place, Kiansugi, Money, Sparrows, Destroyer, Golder, Tilt, Pixels, Fitch. You got 10th. This is a stacked top 10.
I mean,
Baron's not
GG
dead.
to Carcass. We love to see it.
Okay.
Beat out down.
Yeah.
Got to give him a Marco avatar if you can, because he only jams Lemmy.
Well, there we go. I mean, Brazilian Kid has got some avatars that he can
Yeah, he can trade if he needs to.
give. So we've been giving BK some so he can give them to other people so there's less jam up in the funnel.
Oh, good.
Well,
So yeah, Carcass, reach out to BK and he will deliver the goods.
Yo, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Like Nicole, thank you for jumping in last
Yep.
minute too. Like the end of your day, who
Yeah, that
knows
was
how
cool.
much that interrupted your flow.
Thank you.
At least
Thanks
you like
for
to
having me.
multitask.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna end on one note here and just say like, this the one thing that Kalos is spot on about is AI is gonna absolutely like devour a bunch of industries and completely change the world. And you know, we as a studio have invested ourselves in that, and Colony is an extension of that, and Wayfinder is an extension of that, and so yeah, I mean, if there's cheap avatars, look, I'm not saying it, but well, yeah, I don't know. Think
Sweet.
about that long and hard. So
yeah, for sure. Well,
you got the smartest people in the world saying this. This isn't me saying this. This is like everybody's consensus is like, holy shit, AI is coming for the cookies. So, you know, maybe, I don't know. Just think about that a little bit deeper.
Give it some thoughts.
Give it some thoughts and do with that what you will. But love you all. Thanks for having us. Paragons, folks, Quinto, Flux, you guys are great. And
Yep.
Nicole came today, and that was awesome.
yeah.
Thank you. End it now before it gets awkward. Quinto, quick, end it.
Oh no, quick!
Okay. Thanks, everyone. It was a blast. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Nicole, Vin, Fitch, and Flux, thanks for being here today. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.